David Bedford here, violencedesignlab.com. Enough of you have asked me the same question across various places on the web that I thought I'd do a quick hit here to address the question all at once to everyone. People ask me, when I'm talking about a stage combat transformation, where we begin to incorporate historical swordsmanship into what we see in theater and film, which do I mean? Do I mean starting with film or starting with theater? And what is my background? Well, I have done some film, it's true, a couple of them. I was a member of SAG, done a little utility stunt work, but I am certainly not, in any stretch, a film stunt guy, okay? I have friends who do, make great livings at it, and do awesome, amazing, award-winning work. That's not me. I'm a theater guy. I have been involved in live theater for over 30 years now, and that's what I know, that's what I love. I love working with the live performance aspects of the entertainment industry. I am actually recommending that we start with live theater. There are a couple of reasons for that I want to lay out. Most people, of course, when they think of sword fights in the entertainment industry, they think of film, because that's what we are consuming all the time. We go to movies, we have videos, Netflix, YouTube, everything is on camera. The problem is, when you look at the number of films that actually have sword work in them, they're quite few and far between. And of course, I certainly realize that the big Hollywood blockbusters are not the sum total of film. That there are, of course, independent films, local films, student films, much more than get national attention. But if you look at least the national level, how many fights, sword fights, are there in a given year? 4? 5? Maybe. In America, and at least on the national scene. So one of the reasons that I am proposing that we start this revolution in the live theater arena is because there is much, much more available work and available places to practice this art. Think of all the theaters across the country that do Shakespeare, for example, where there is a lot of historical sword work. Every community that hosts a HEMA club, that has enough people interested in hitting each other with swords, is likely big enough to also have one or more theaters. And there are certain cities that will have hundreds, like Chicago, where I used to work. Even the small town where I am now, less than 5,000 people, has a theater company. So there is much more access to production houses on the theater side than there is on the film side. Also, a film is done once, one time. When we do Braveheart, exactly once. Now we have to wait for the next script that involves historical fighting. Conversely, theater, think of all the times that we're going to stage Macbeth, or Richard III, or Three Musketeers, or any number of productions that use sword work. The fact that one theater in Florida has done Hamlet doesn't mean that the theater up there in New York isn't going to do it or is not going to show up in Peoria, Illinois. There's much more available work in theater. Also, I think the bar to get into cinema is actually a little higher, maybe a lot higher, than it is for theater. I don't mean artistically, thank you. I do think that artistically we're doing excellent work in theater. What I mean is there's a lot more bureaucracy, politics, who you know, involved in film, from my perspective, than there is in theater. Again, partly this is simply numbers. If there's 4 film producers who are trying to find a director or a stunt coordinator to do that film, that's 4, whereas there might be 15 theaters in your town. It's a simple numbers game. Also, in my experience, theater directors are more willing to try someone new. If they, we're going to come into this without a lot of background, many of us at least. And if they don't know you in film, it's hard to risk their million or several $million actors and give an unknown a chance. I mean, that happens in the movies, ironically, but it often doesn't happen in the real world of making movies. In theater, you have a much better chance as an unknown entity of getting a job there. So those are a couple of the reasons why I want to do it. I believe that if we can start in theater, which in many ways is more challenging. Yes, we can get into the production easier, but remember, in film, you have to do it successfully one time. Catch it on camera, you're done. In theater, you have to be able to successfully do that fight again and again and again. It has to be tonight and tomorrow and twice on Sunday. So there is a higher bar for the quality of the choreography and the repeatability of the choreography in theater. I think that will only make our work better. My hope is once the culture of live theater starts to change, audiences and directors and actors get used to seeing this great historical work that we're doing, my hope is that we'll trickle up, I guess, or wick up towards film and then begin to influence the culture at large. I don't know if that'll happen. I really can't speak for film based on my background, but I really want it to happen for theater. We produce so much time and effort figuring out the historicity, if you will, of all the other elements of these historic plays, and then seem to completely ignore the historical fights. So that's my answer, like to Alan Reed and to Brennan. Yes, I'm a theater guy. Yes, I am focused on theater. I pull no punches about that. I want it to affect film and movies, but I don't have a lot of pull there. I'm hoping that it will sort of translate. So there you go. Thanks so much. If you like this, please subscribe, visit the website at violencedesignlab.com, and check out my podcast. Thanks. Bye-bye.